Asè Axé Ashé, and welcome to the Asè Shop podcast. I am Ashley, your Orisha storyteller and guides through the ins and outs of your spiritual journey. Study is one of the most important aspects of our spiritual journey, and storytelling allows us to study the Orisha and gain more insight into them. So, story time is my readings and retellings of various stories of the Orisha. It is my prayer that these stories uplift you when you are down, expand your perspective, and strengthen your faith within yourself and Olodumare. Today's story comes from the Yoruba Gods and Legends, the interesting stories of Yoruba heroes you really want by Dr. Yinka Oyedeji. That's where you can find this story. Of course, you're getting my version of it, but if you want to read it for yourself, Dr. Yinka Oyedeji has a really great book and you should definitely check it out. This story is about when Obatala goes to visit Shango. Obatala is the king of the white cloth, the father to the Orisha. One of his, and you know how parents are like, well, I don't play favorites, but Shango is a clear favorite of both Obatala and Yemaya. Obatala has decided he's going to go visit Shango. So he tells his wife, can you prepare everything for me so I can make the journey? The journey will be cool, calm, and copacetic because his wife done got everything together for him. So as his wife is preparing everything, she goes to wash his travel clothes. And of course, they're white. It's Obatala. What other color would he be wearing? There's a stain on it. And she just cannot seem to get this stain out. No matter how much she washes and how much she cleans and how much she goes over this, she cannot get it out. And she finally, has done everything she can do. The stain is gone. But that night when she goes to sleep, she has a dream that things are just not going to go well for Obatala when he goes to Oyo. So when she wakes up in the morning, Obatala is like looking over his clothes. He's like, did you get the stain out, honey? She's like, yeah, I got the stain out. But and he looking at her like, because you know how women get their look in their eye when they know something's up and they know something's wrong and they know something is not right. It's a feeling in the stomach that translates into a look in the eye. And when the husband, Obatala, looked at his wife, he saw that look and he said, wait, baby, what's wrong? And she said, I had a dream. And he kind of like, oh, Lord, not another one of these. She said, I had a dream that things do not go well for you in Oyo. I really have a feeling you shouldn't go. And if you don't agree with me, go see Orumila and see what Orumila has to say about you going because I just don't feel right about it. So consult Ifa. So, of course, Obatala having good sense. He trusts his wife judgment, but he still goes to see Orumila just to see exactly, okay, what's going on with this? Orumila cast divination for Obatala. He cast Ifa for Obatala and just straight up and down, he was like, nope, do not go. Misfortune is right there waiting for you. Do not go to Oyo. Maybe try to go again later, but now it's a no. And Obatala is like, well, what misfortune could possibly befall me, going to Oyo? This is Shango. Shango rules here. Shango is the king, the Alafin of Oyo. Like, what could possibly happen to me because he knows his relationship with Shango? So he doesn't heed Ifa advice. He went to Orumila to ask Orumila for advice and then didn't take Orumila advice. But, Obatala gets dressed and he leaves anyway. As he's walking down the road, he comes to the crossroads and he see Eshu sitting there. And he said, Eshu, why you sitting there just, looking like you ain't got a care in the world? Like, what's up with you? He's like, I was just waiting for somebody to help me put this palm oil on my head so I could carry it. Obatala, can you help me? Obatala says, no problem. So he picks the palm oil up and puts it on Eshu's head, but not without spilling some of it on himself. So instead of going to Oyo, Obatala says, you know what, let me go back home and get fresh because I can't be stepping up in there looking like any kind of way. So he decides after he changes, he gets something to eat, he heads back out. So when he's back on the road, he see Eshu sitting at the crossroads again. He said, Eshu, what's up? Eshu said, can you help me with this bowl because I'm really struggling? Obatala said, you know what? I ain't gonna fall for the same trick twice. So he back up a little bit when he put the palm oil on Eshu head, thinking it's gonna keep him clean because Obatala's like, I can't possibly do this, can't possibly happen to me twice. But sure enough, he helps Eshu put that palm oil on his head, but not without spilling a little bit on himself. He go back home again. He come back out. He walk into the crossroads again. He see Eshu. Eshu looks at Obatala. Eshu says, Obatala, help me put this bowl on my head. He said, I promise you ain't gonna mess your clothes up. Obatala said, I know I'm not gonna mess my clothes up because I'm not gonna help you. Eshu was like, so you refusing to help me? Obatala said, yeah, you could put the bowl on top of your head on your own. Eshu got so mad that he literally just threw all the palm oil on Obatala. Obatala was like, I ain't even argue with you. I'm like, the, this time, Obatala was like, I'm done with it. I'm just gonna go on to you. Like, I know my wife had a bad dream. I know Rumila gave me a warning. I know I done met Eshu 3 times. Now I look a whole mess. I just forget about it. And he just started traveling. He just started walking to Oyo. Nearby, he saw some horses grazing. This horse was like, looked nice. And he was like, maybe you get this horse, catch this horse as a gift to Shango. Not realizing the horse already belonged to Shango. Shango's guards see Obatala in the field, covered in palm oil, looking a mess, running after Shango's horse, and they just immediately snatched him up and locked him up and took him to jail. They didn't ask no questions. They just snatched him and was beating on him and everything. Like, how dare you try to capture one of Shango's horses? He's like, I'm trying to get the horse. He couldn't even get the words out because they was beating that man so bad. And literally, like, they didn't ask him any questions. They just beat him up and they threw him in prison. And he was in there for a while. And some time goes by that Obatala is literally just sitting in Shango's prison, and weeks turn into months. And they realize Obatala's missing and they start looking for him. Because with Obatala not there, there's now a drought in Oyo. No rain is falling, the crops not growing. Not like sickness is coming. People getting ill because Obatala is in prison. Of course, Shango is like, okay, what's going on? I don't understand what's happening. So Shango sends for his diviners because when you confuse, you consult Ifa. So of course Shango goes to consult Ifa. Ifa says, go release that man about your prison. He didn't say it like Ifa didn't say it like that, but pretty much that was the message. Go get that man about the prison. You're gonna see a man in prison wearing some what used to could possibly have been white robes. Go get him up out of the prison. So they go and they get the man who's in prison, who's been sitting there. They get him out. And Shango, soon as Shango see his face, he's like, oh my God, Obatala, where have you been? We've been looking for you everywhere. They got Obatala cleaned up. They got him back in his white cloth. They got him fed. And soon as that started to happen, it started to rain, the food, the light, everything came back on because the king of the white cloth had been restored. This story is so interesting to me because you have Obatala, who is the creator of the hair, who is known for his patience and his diligence, being seen here where he has like literally succumbed to nothing. If I told him not to go, and it never occurred to him that he could end up imprisoned. There are times in our lives where we make decisions not really thinking that the consequences that are going to occur in our lives could even be a possibility. Obatala is thinking because this is Shango who I'm going to see. I'm going to Oyo. I am Obatala. I am the creator of man. I am the king of the white claw. How could anything possibly go wrong? How could anything possibly happen to me when I am in the sanctuary or in the kingdom of Shango. But the problems and the challenges he encounters here are not just his doing. It's him trying to help Eshu, him trying to assist and support Eshu in what he has going on, despite the fact that why would I help you with some palm oil knowing I'm wearing white? This is not coming out. Then his wife, it's so many signs that showed him he shouldn't have gone. But even then, none of these things really appear to be his doing. So he ends up learning a lesson, learning a very valuable lesson, because the things that he thought were not possible, the things that he did not consider were a possibility, is exactly what came down on him and exactly what befell him, all because he wanted to visit his friend despite all of the advice he received to the contrary. I hope y'all enjoyed this story. I look forward to hearing from y'all, and y'all go ahead and make your request. If you have a story request, make sure you email me at ashley@theasheshop.com. You can also visit theasheshop.com to register for classes, book a session, and stock up on your spiritual bath and body products. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Oh.